Alright, in this video I'll be demonstrating how to Plastidip your car wheels and the emblems on the rear of the car. So I'll go through step by step and show kind of how I do things. There are different videos out there, but this is how I've done it in the past and I think it works well. 4 truss bags, pair of scissors, your Plastidip can of choice. I would recommend at least 3. 3 will usually get all the wheels, but definitely 4 if you want to be safe. Masking tape, newspaper, toothpicks, or something else small that won't scratch the paint of your car. First step is to cut halfway up a plastic garbage bag. This will go over your brakes so you don't paint on them. This is a method of Plastidiping your wheels with the wheels still on. So to do that, we need to put our garbage bag back here so that we can cover up our brakes. In this car, the spokes are really close together and there's not a whole lot of wheel gap up here, so it's hard to, right here, so it's hard to squeeze in. My hands are too big to fit in between the spokes, so I'm just going to do the best I can to reach in and tuck things over. And once I've gotten everything as far in as I can, I will grab some long needle nose pliers, stick them in between, grab the bag and pull it through, and then once I have it through just a little bit like this, I can come in and pull it around and pull it down, and each time one more comes down I just move over a spoke and keep doing that. Do that until you got them all the way around. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that it's not touching anywhere on the spoke or on the wheel that's going to be covered in Plastidip, because obviously then that piece would not be covered and it wouldn't look very good. So do your best to keep it tucked back so it's just on top of the brake. There we go. Alright, next you can take your masking tape and you can go around the tires if you want so that you don't have to work on peeling off Plastidip afterwards. I don't have, this is all the masking tape I have, so I'm not going to do it. And if you choose not to use it, Plastidip peels off really easily the first about 30 minutes after it's dried, and it's still really easy after that. That's why people do this, so they can change it if they want to. But if you spray and you have overspray, it'll overspray on the tires, just because you're trying to get all the way around here. And so when that happens, you come in once the wheel's dried and you can peel it off and it should come off in one piece. You might have a little bit of specks here and there. Those will usually you can still peel those off, take the time, or they'll just get dirty enough from road dirt. And of course you want to make sure that your wheels have been cleaned with either some type of cleaner or something so that there's no dirt underneath. Now we'll be doing the emblems on the back of the car. This is what we have our masking tape and newspaper for. So what we want to do is we're going to take our masking tape and we're going to get close to around the badges here just to protect from overspray, and that way when we have to try to take everything off it'll be nice and easy. So we're going to do one section of tape here. Once we've got that tape down, we'll take our newspaper, and again this is to just keep the overspray at a minimum, keep the overspray on the newspaper and stuff. We're going to line that up on there, and this is why we put that first layer of tape down, so we have kind of like a buffer, I guess. Okay, once we have everything newspapered up, we're ready to spray. Alright, so once you've shaken the can, which is about a minute, you shake it for about a minute after you hear that ball rolling in there, we're ready to spray it. And so we're going to do our first coat now, and you just go across really evenly. And once we're done with that, you just want to give it enough time so that you think it dries. On the back of the can it says 4 hours in between coats, and honestly I don't think the first coat, especially, is not going to take 4 hours to dry. I always just go by how it looks. If it looks dry, I'm going to put the next layer on. It's worked fine for me in the many times that I've done it in the past. And also I don't have time to be waiting 4 hours in between each one. So we're going to wait for that to dry. We're going to move on to the second coat now. I put this little grip on. I had it. You don't have to use it. It just makes it a little easier if you're spraying for a long time. This wheel has a lot of the spokes with lots of different angles. So on this one, I'm going to start making sure that I get those angles a little bit better. Don't really, I mean, it's not gonna spray as well if you hold the can upside down. So just kind of be careful when you're doing those. I hold the can upside down even though you're not supposed to get those. You can always, once you rotate the car just the wheels just a little after you've done it, you can do a little touch up without totally bagging the brakes up, because a little bit of Plastidip on the brakes isn't gonna do that much. It's just gonna rub right off once you brake. So with that said, here we go on the second coat. Alright, and that's our second coat there. Now you can definitely see a difference on here. So I'm gonna move on to the other wheels. Alright, here we go. I'm still, just for reference, on my first can, and I've been doing all the wheels in between this one drying. So making sure to get all those angles. You gotta make sure you get the lip too, so you kind of come in at the top and around the edges at an angle. Still want to be doing short bursts. Don't want to hold it down too long so you get any little puddles or anything. Okay, so now that everything's dry, I'm gonna take the plastic bag out. There we go. Now we're gonna use this toothpick that I got to get this logo up. Since it's kind of separate from everything else, it's not gonna peel everything off. So it has this little gap in between there. Just look at that. Pull out the whole thing. And there you have it. That's how you Plastidip your wheels. Now you're gonna do the same thing. First coat. And it's not quite as big a surface, so we just let that dry. Alright, so we're ready to move on to our second coat. Again, you want to make sure you're getting it from all angles. Then we're going to let it dry, and I think a third coat should be all that we need. Alright, here we go with our last coat. I'm going to let that dry before we peel all the newspaper and tape off and work at getting in between the numbers and letters and getting all the paint off the body. Alright, now we're ready to remove all this stuff and peel everything else away. Alright, now we're going to take our toothpick so you can go in, just peel it out. You want to be real careful not to lift anything off of the emblem. This can take a lot of patience. Alright, and there's the badges on the back all finished up, looking fresh. And now you're set to go Plastidip your own car.